How often do you find yourself affected by the words of others? In a world swirling with negativity, the ability to remain unshaken can be incredibly empowering. Imagine mastering such resilience. The ancient Stoics had a remarkable way of looking at this. Take Marcus Aurelius, who once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This profound insight captures the essence of Stoic wisdom, reminding us that our true strength lies within. What if you could navigate through life's challenges untouched by insults or harsh judgments? Today, we delve into the timeless Stoic strategies that equip you to stay grounded, no matter what others say. Let's embark on this journey of personal resilience and discover how to cultivate an inner fortress that stands firm against the storms of negativity. Have you ever wondered why a seemingly harmless comment can leave you feeling upset, while a more direct insult might roll off your back? Often, it all boils down to perception. Our interpretation of words can dramatically alter how we react to them. The Stoics, ancient philosophers known for their profound insights into the human condition, believed that it is not events or words themselves that disturb us, but rather our perception of them. This philosophy invites us to dig deeper into the power of perception and how it shapes our reactions to insults. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic thinkers, famously taught that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This powerful idea emphasizes that the real impact of any comment lies not in the words themselves, but in the meaning we attach to them. Imagine reading through comments on a social media post. One person criticizes your work, saying it's subpar. Naturally, many might interpret such feedback as a personal attack, leading to feelings of inadequacy or irritation. But from a Stoic viewpoint, it's possible to view this comment differently. Instead of seeing it as a direct assault, consider it as feedback and opportunity to learn and grow if there's truth to it. And if it lacks substance, recognize it as inconsequential to your true self-worth. Perception acts like a filter, allowing us to decide which words hold power over us. By shifting our focus to what we can control, our responses and attitudes, we can reclaim our peace of mind. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but rather about understanding them and choosing a response that aligns with our values and goals. Let's consider another example from the digital age, where perceptions often spiral into misunderstandings. When you receive a terse email or a critical online review, it's easy to jump to conclusions, assuming malice or disrespect. However, by pausing and examining your perceptions, you might realize that the message tone could be a reflection of the sender's stress or haste, rather than a personal attack. By choosing to view it through a neutral lens, not only do you protect your peace of mind, but you also open the door to constructive dialogue and growth. Now it's time to reflect on your own experiences. Think of a recent moment when a comment or situation upset you. Ask yourself, was my perception driving my reaction? Could a shift in perception have altered the outcome? The Stoics challenge us to take ownership of our interpretations, granting us the ability to transform potential stressors into learning experiences. Embracing this Stoic principle doesn't happen overnight. It requires practice and mindfulness, but the reward is the freedom from being a constant slave to others' opinions and the turmoil that often accompanies them. As you continue this journey into Stoicism, consider how you might begin to change your perceptions to foster a more grounded and resilient mindset. After all, the power to change how we feel lies within us. Cognitive detachment serves as one of the most powerful tools in the Stoic arsenal, offering a way to maintain emotional distance even amidst life's chaos. But what exactly is cognitive detachment, and why is it so valuable? At its core, cognitive detachment involves creating a mental space between our emotions and the events that trigger them. This isn't about becoming indifferent or uncaring. On the contrary, cognitive detachment helps us engage with life more effectively by preventing our emotions from clouding our judgment. In Stoic philosophy, this concept is about recognizing the line between what we can and cannot control, which can help maintain our calm. Seneca, a renowned Stoic philosopher, shared profound insights on this. He suggested that like a calm sea withstands the turbulence of a storm, a detached mind remains composed when confronted with external disturbances. Seneca urged us not to waste energy on things beyond our control, as this only leads to unnecessary distress. Instead, by practicing cognitive detachment, we can channel our energy into actions that align with our values. To illustrate this, let's imagine a typical work meeting scenario. You're presenting an important project and a colleague interrupts with a harsh critique. The immediate emotional reaction might be to feel embarrassed or defensive. However, practicing cognitive detachment means taking a mental step back. Instead of instantly reacting, you might internally acknowledge the critique, assess its validity objectively, and decide the best response. This mental pause not only aids in handling the situation gracefully, but also prevents a potentially heated moment from escalating further. Such detachment isn't about ignoring emotions, but about acknowledging them without letting them dictate your actions. Think of it as observing your thoughts and feelings like clouds passing through the sky without getting caught in the storm. By doing so, you gain the clarity to choose your response rather than react impulsively. Now consider moments in your life when detachment might have spared you unnecessary emotional turmoil. Perhaps it was during a heated argument with a loved one or a situation at work where criticism felt particularly biting. Reflect on how cognitive detachment could have altered the outcome, providing you with peace and a clearer perspective. The practice of cognitive detachment encourages us to rise above the immediate emotional fray and align our responses with our deeper intentions and values. It empowers us to face life's slings and arrows with equanimity, ensuring that we, not our emotions, remain in control. As you ponder on this, think about areas in your life where you could cultivate this mindset. By doing so, you prepare yourself to navigate life's challenges with the calm and clarity of a Stoic sage, transforming potential chaos into opportunities for wisdom and growth. What distinguishes a resilient mind from a fragile one? This question strikes at the heart of Stoic philosophy, which emphasizes developing inner strength rather than focusing on external factors. In a world where circumstances constantly change, the Stoics teach us that true power resides not in changing the tides of fortune, but in strengthening our own ability to withstand them. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor whose meditations guide many on their Stoic journey, advised that the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This insight underscores the Stoic belief in fortifying one's mind to endure life's adversities. Inner strength, Marcus implies, is cultivated from within and holds more sway over our well-being than any external circumstance ever could. But what does fostering resilience truly mean in practical terms, especially in environments thick with criticism and pressure like the workplace? Consider a situation where a project you worked hard on receives unexpected negative feedback. It's natural to feel a sting of disappointment or even frustration. Yet, this is precisely the moment where resilience is tested. Instead of allowing such feedback to shake your ground, a resilient mindset encourages you to reframe the situation. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might I use this feedback to improve? By doing so, you transform a potentially demoralizing encounter into an opportunity for growth. Building such resilience doesn't occur overnight. It involves consistently practicing self-awareness and reflection. Start by observing your emotional responses in tough situations. Do you find yourself easily thrown off balance by criticism or setbacks? When faced with adversity, do you default to self-doubt or negativity? Identifying these patterns is the first step toward cultivating a stronger, more resilient mindset. Imagine if next time you're sidelined by criticism, instead of ruminating on the negative, you pause and refocus. You remind yourself of your past achievements, the strengths that brought you here, and the potential wisdom hidden in critique. This isn't about dismissing or ignoring emotions, but rather guiding them to serve your broader goals. For viewers, I invite you to reflect on your recent challenges. How did you respond emotionally? Was it with resilience or fragility? Can you pinpoint moments where a shift in perspective might have turned the tide in your favor? Use these reflections as a foundation to build upon, crafting an emotional armor that grows stronger with each trial. Resilience, as the Stoics teach us, is not about merely surviving life's storms, but thriving because of them. By embracing this inner strength, we learn to navigate through life with a sense of calm and confidence, unshaken by external circumstances. So next time you face a challenge, remember Marcus Aurelius's wisdom. Remind yourself that while you may not control external events, you have complete control over how you perceive them. This is the essence of Stoic resilience, a steadfast mind in a world of constant change. Imagine a world where nothing external could disturb your peace of mind. Sounds almost surreal, doesn't it? Yet, for the Stoics, this ideal is not only achievable but essential to living a fulfilling life. Central to their philosophy is the concept of acceptance, a profound acknowledgement of reality as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. This acceptance, according to the Stoics, paves the way to genuine tranquility, even in the face of insults or adversity. Going back to the annals of history, the practice of accepting one's fate, known as amor fati or love of fate, is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, often pondered on the notion that everything happens according to a natural order, and our role is to embrace this order with open arms. This acceptance doesn't suggest resignation, but rather an understanding that some events are beyond our control, and our peace depends on how we choose to perceive them. Epictetus, another pillar of Stoic thought, illuminated this idea with a simple yet powerful statement. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. Through acceptance, we diminish the power external insults hold over us. By acknowledging that others' words are reflections of their own perceptions, not truths about ourselves, we gain the strength to remain unaffected. Consider, for example, a scenario where a close friend misunderstands your intentions. The initial instinct might be to feel hurt or defensive, leading to arguments or distance. However, by accepting that misunderstandings are a natural part of human interactions, you can approach the situation with patience and clarity rather than reacting with anger. This acceptance allows room for constructive dialogue and resolution, turning potential conflict into an opportunity for deeper connection. Acceptance also plays a pivotal role in professional settings. Imagine consistently facing criticism at work. Instead of viewing these as personal attacks, accepting that differing opinions and feedback are integral to growth can transform how you perceive criticism. By accepting the reality of diverse perspectives, you not only deflect the sting of negative comments, but also open yourself up to learning and improvement. Now take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Can you remember times when accepting a situation as it was led to a more positive outcome? Perhaps it was accepting a career setback, allowing you to explore new opportunities, or embracing a personal flaw, leading to personal growth rather than self-criticism. Such instances highlight how acceptance can turn perceived negatives into powerful life lessons. In practicing acceptance, we learn to surrender the illusion of control over the external and instead focus on mastering our internal world. This shift in focus diminishes the power of insults and external negativity, because we understand that these are merely fleeting events in the grand tapestry of life. As you navigate the complexities of daily life, remember the wisdom of the Stoics. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up, it means choosing peace over turmoil. By embracing what you cannot change, you free yourself from the shackles of others' opinions, stepping into a state of clarity and calm. Ask yourself, where can acceptance bring more peace into your life? By exploring this question, you continue your journey towards a resilient and serene self, embodying the true spirit of Stoicism. Have you ever considered the profound benefits of being truly present, especially when faced with life's inevitable challenges? Imagine approaching each encounter with an open, attentive mind, unshaken by the chaos around you. This is where mindfulness comes into play, not just as a stress relief technique, but as a robust Stoic practice that strengthens your resilience against insults and negativity. In the realm of Stoic philosophy, mindfulness is more than a trend. It's a pathway to self-awareness and inner peace. The Stoics understood that by focusing on the present moment, we free ourselves from the burdens of past regrets and future anxieties. Seneca, the revered Stoic philosopher, eloquently advised us to begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This wisdom encourages us to cultivate a mindful approach to life, valuing each moment as an opportunity to engage fully with what is rather than what we wish it to be. So, how does one integrate mindfulness into daily life, particularly when navigating tense situations? One effective technique is mindful breathing. Imagine you're in a heated debate or receiving sharp criticism. Instead of reacting impulsively, pause and take a deep breath. Focus on the sensation of the air entering and leaving your lungs. This simple act anchors you to the present, creating a buffer between the stimulus and your response. It allows you to observe your emotions without being swept away by them, offering clarity and calm amid potential turmoil. Another practical application of mindfulness is to consciously observe your surroundings when tensions rise. Look around and identify specific details, perhaps the color of a nearby object or the texture of what you're holding. Engaging your senses in this way shifts your focus from the emotional surge to the physical world, grounding you in the present moment. This practice not only helps diffuse immediate emotional responses, but also trains your mind to remain composed in future conflicts. Consider the everyday conflicts you encounter, whether they occur at home, work, or even during a simple commute. These moments, often clouded by stress or anger, can be transformed with mindfulness. By choosing to center yourself in the present, you gain the power to respond with intention and clarity rather than reaction. Invite yourself to practice this presence during your next emotionally charged situation. Notice the thoughts and feelings that arise without judgment, allowing them to pass like clouds across an endless sky. With practice, you'll discover that mindfulness grants you the space to choose your response, instead of being a hostage to knee-jerk reactions. Mindfulness, when embraced as a daily practice, not only fortifies you against external negativity, but also enriches your inner life. It reconnects you with the simplicity and beauty of the moment, a core tenet in Stoic living. As you cultivate this mindful presence, you embody the essence of Seneca's teaching, experiencing each day as a unique opportunity for growth and engagement. Pause for a moment now and reflect on how mindfulness can transform your interactions. How might your life change if you faced each challenge with the calm and clarity that comes from being fully present? By exploring this question, you open the door to a more mindful, Stoic existence, one that is both resilient to insults and deeply attuned to the wonders of the present moment. Have you ever pondered how much personal growth could be hidden in the shadows of adversity? In facing harsh words or criticism, could there be an opportunity for profound transformation? The Stoics believed that adversity, including insults, holds potential not just for hardship but for growth and introspection. This belief is encapsulated in the Stoic practice of self-reflection, a powerful exercise that enables us to turn painful experiences into catalysts for personal development. The Stoics advocated for regular self-examination as a means to cultivate resilience and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, dedicated much of his time to introspection. His writings, compiled in the book Meditations, are filled with reflections on his own behavior and thoughts, offering insights on how to improve and remain aligned with Stoic virtues. Marcus viewed self-reflection as essential for personal growth, a way to refine one's character and fortify oneself against the sting of external criticism. The practice of self-reflection can be likened to holding a mirror up to our thoughts and actions. It involves questioning our responses to various situations, particularly those that elicit strong emotions. For instance, when confronted with criticism, a self-reflective approach might involve asking, "Why did this comment affect me so deeply? Is there truth to it that I can learn from, or am I reacting out of pride or insecurity?" Through such questioning, we can uncover deeper insights about ourselves, leading to growth and improvement. Consider a scenario at work where you receive feedback that seems unduly harsh. Your initial reaction might be defensiveness or anger. However, by engaging in self-reflection, you might discover that there's value in the criticism. Perhaps it highlights an area in need of development, offering you a roadmap for enhancing your skills or knowledge. Alternatively, you might realize that your emotional reaction is more about your own fears or insecurities than the feedback itself. This realization can be remarkably liberating, freeing you from the automatic grip of negative emotions. Such introspection not only aids in understanding the roots of our reactions, but also empowers us to transform them. By regularly practicing self-examination, we build a habit of seeing beyond the surface of insults or criticism, fostering a mindset that welcomes growth rather than resisting it. Imagine implementing this Stoic exercise in your daily life. It could be as simple as setting aside a few minutes each evening to reflect on the day's events. Consider what you learn from critical comments or challenging situations. Ask yourself how these experiences could serve as stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. With time and practice, this habit of introspection can transform the way you perceive and handle criticism, making you more resilient and adaptable. Now, reflect on your own interactions. Have there been moments where a bit of self-reflection could have softened the blow of critique, or even turned it into a learning experience? How might regular introspection change your relationship with criticism and insults? By embracing the practice of self-reflection, you move closer to the Stoic ideal of emotional resilience, discovering within yourself the strength to turn adversity into an opportunity for growth. In this way, self-reflection not only shields you from the harm of insults, but also enriches your journey of self-improvement, helping you to emerge stronger and wiser from each encounter. Imagine a scene where someone unexpectedly criticizes you harshly. The instinctive response might be to defend yourself or counterattack, but what if you took a different approach? Picture yourself pausing for a moment, considering what might have motivated this person to speak so negatively. This initial step towards understanding is the beginning of empathy, a powerful tool for transforming conflict into connection. In the world of Stoicism, empathy is not just a virtue but a practical tool for navigating interactions, especially those fraught with tension. While often overlooked, empathy can diffuse insults and transform potentially hostile exchanges. Musonius Rufus, a lesser-known but insightful Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of empathy in understanding others' perspectives. He taught that by looking beyond our own immediate reactions and considering the motivations and struggles of others, we cultivate a deeper sense of compassion and patience. Consider how empathy can be practically applied during a conflict. Let's say a colleague harshly criticizes your contribution in a meeting. Instead of reacting defensively, you might pause to consider what might be driving their comments. Is it possible they are under pressure from their own responsibilities, experiencing stress unrelated to you, or perhaps even seeking validation through their critique? By empathizing with their situation, you not only reduce the impact of the insult on yourself, but also create a space for a more constructive and understanding dialogue. Incorporating empathy does not mean excusing inappropriate behavior, but rather seeking to understand the underlying factors contributing to it. This understanding can shift your perspective from one of defense to one of curiosity and openness, which often leads to more meaningful resolutions. Reflect on a personal experience where empathy might have altered the outcome of a negative interaction. Perhaps there was a time when you felt unjustly criticized by a friend or family member. By looking past their words and contemplating their circumstances, did you find that your anger diminished and understanding grew? This shift can be transformative, turning what could have been a heated argument into an opportunity to deepen mutual understanding and resolve issues amicably. Empathy aligns seamlessly with Stoic teachings, which urge us to remember that everyone is fighting their own battles. By recognizing that others' actions are not always about us, we liberate ourselves from taking things personally and gain the emotional clarity to respond wisely. As you navigate your personal and professional interactions, consider how you might employ empathy to diffuse tensions. The next time you face criticism, try to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, what might this critic be experiencing that led them to this point? How can understanding their perspective shape my response? By consciously practicing empathy, you enhance not only your emotional resilience but also your ability to forge stronger, more understanding connections with those around you. Empathy is a bridge to greater insight and compassion, an essential component of the Stoic framework for dealing with life's inevitable challenges and insults. Through empathy, we learn not only to defend ourselves against negativity, but to transform it into an opportunity for personal growth and harmonious relationships. Have you ever mulled over the power of simply not caring about things you cannot control? This may sound counterintuitive or even unachievable at first, but the Stoics saw indifference not as a lack of concern, but as an empowering choice about where to focus our energy. Imagine wearing an invisible shield that deflects negativity and keeps you centered regardless of what others say or do. This is the art of indifference, a Stoic practice that teaches us to discern what truly deserves our attention and energy. At the heart of Stoic indifference is the recognition that many aspects of life are beyond our control. We cannot dictate others' opinions, the past actions of people, or even the inevitable twists of fate. The Stoics believed that by embracing indifference to these uncontrollable elements, we preserve our peace of mind and enhance our resilience. As Epictetus wisely remarked, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In choosing indifference to insults, we gain the clarity to respond rather than react, maintaining our inner tranquility. Consider a scenario where you're the subject of office gossip. Naturally, this situation might provoke feelings of anger or defensiveness. However, practicing Stoic indifference involves acknowledging that you do not control others' minds or their idle chatter. What you can control is your response. By choosing indifference, you free yourself from the emotional turmoil that gossip might provoke. Instead of engaging with the rumors, you continue to act according to your values, unaffected by the noise around you. This concept is vividly illustrated in numerous personal stories of individuals who have mastered this art. For instance, think about public figures who remain poised despite being under constant scrutiny. Take an athlete who faces a barrage of criticism after a poor performance. Instead of dwelling on the negativity, they focus on what they can control, their training and preparation for the next game. By practicing indifference to the detractors, they maintain focus and confidence, ultimately performing better in the future. Now, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Think of a time when you were driven to distraction by something you couldn't control, a co-worker's unfounded criticism, a friend's unpredictable mood, or even a stranger's negative comment online. Did these situations steal your peace, or were you able to let go? Analyze your reactions and consider how embracing indifference might alter your perspective and bring you greater peace. Engaging with this Stoic practice doesn't imply that we become cold or detached from life. Instead, it encourages us to distinguish between what deserves our emotional investment and what is merely a distraction. By selectively applying our energy, we nurture a resilient, focused mind capable of thriving amid life's unpredictabilities. As you navigate through the intricacies of daily life, apply this lesson of indifference. Ask yourself, what aspects of my life am I allowing to affect me unnecessarily? How might I reposition my focus towards what truly matters? By doing so, you harness the power of indifference not just as a shield but as a guiding principle for a balanced and fulfilling life. In embracing the art of indifference, we adopt a Stoic shield against the invasive negativity of the world. This shift in focus empowers us to live authentically and purposefully, unaffected by the inconsequential opinions and uncontrollable circumstances that once threatened our peace. As you explore this path, remember that indifference is not indifference to life itself, but a strategic redirection of focus towards what truly matters and what you can shape. Have you ever felt weighed down by circumstances beyond your control, perhaps feeling like a leaf in the wind, tossed around by unforeseen events or the harsh words of others? What if the key to inner peace and resilience lies in focusing only on what you can control? This mindset shift is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, encapsulating the wisdom that guides us through life's unpredictability with grace and stability. The Stoics, renowned for their practical approach to emotional resilience, emphasized the importance of distinguishing between what is within our control and what is not. This distinction is crucial in managing how we perceive and react to the world around us. Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "We are disturbed not by the things that happen, but by our thoughts about the things that happen." This insight forms the basis of the Stoic principle of control, redirecting our focus from external events to our internal responses. Let's explore how this principle can change our approach to receiving insults. Think about a scenario where you're preparing for a public speaking event, a situation that often stirs nerves in even the most seasoned speakers. There's the worry of stumbling over words, forgetting key points, or facing a critical audience. If you fixate on these uncontrollable factors, the reactions of the audience, the possibility of technical glitches, you might find yourself paralyzed by anxiety. However, by focusing on what you can control, such as your preparation, practice, and delivery, you align your energy with actions that enhance your performance and calm your nerves. This principle applies equally to handling insults. Imagine someone makes a rude comment about you at work or on social media. The initial emotional surge might be anger or hurt, but remember, you ultimately control how you react. By choosing to focus on your response, opting for calmness, humor, or even silence, you exercise control over your emotional well-being. This conscious choice diminishes the power of the insult, transforming it from a source of distress into an opportunity for demonstrating strength and poise. Viewers, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences with criticism or negativity. Have there been instances where your reaction escalated a situation unnecessarily? Compare this with times when you chose to respond calmly or not at all. What was the difference in outcomes? By shifting focus to what you can control, your thoughts, emotions, and actions, you lay the groundwork for emotional resilience and self-mastery. Understanding control means not just knowing what you can change, but embracing what you cannot. This acceptance is liberating, freeing you from the burden of trying to manage the uncontrollable and allowing you to direct your energy towards productive and fulfilling endeavors. As you continue your journey through life, consider adopting this Stoic perspective on control. When faced with challenges or criticisms, pause and ask yourself, what aspect of this situation can I control and what must I let go? By doing so, you cultivate a mindset that not only withstands insults but thrives in spite of them, embodying the true wisdom of the Stoics. This understanding of control encourages us to live more intentionally, focusing on personal growth and emotional resilience rather than being at the mercy of external events. As you integrate this principle into your life, you'll find a profound sense of empowerment, knowing that while you can't control the world, you can always control how you perceive and react to it. Let's transport ourselves back to ancient Rome, where the great philosopher Emperor Marcus Aurelius faced a torrent of criticism and scorn. Despite his position of power, Marcus was not immune to the slings and arrows of public opinion. However, instead of succumbing to defensiveness or retaliation, he stood firm in his commitment to Stoic virtues. He believed that virtue, not reputation or social approval, was the true measure of a person's worth. This steadfast devotion to living virtuously, irrespective of external judgments, is a lesson that resonates deeply within Stoic philosophy. The Stoics taught that the pursuit of virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance should be our primary concern. Unlike reputation, which is at the mercy of others' perceptions, virtue is entirely within our control. This perspective shifts the focus from how others see us to how we choose to live. For Marcus Aurelius, this meant embodying Stoic principles in every decision and action, ensuring that his responses reflected his inner values, not the opinions of others. His meditations constantly remind us of this alignment, urging us to remain true to our moral compass even when faced with criticism. Consider a practical example that illustrates this principle. Picture a situation where you're publicly criticized for taking a stand on an ethical issue at work. The easy route might be to backtrack or stay silent to preserve your reputation among colleagues. However, aligning your response with virtue involves holding firm to your values, even if it means enduring criticism or misunderstanding. By doing so, you demonstrate integrity and courage, qualities that far outweigh the fleeting nature of reputation. Similarly, imagine a leader who makes decisions based on integrity rather than popularity. They might face backlash for choices that are ethical but unpopular. Nevertheless, by prioritizing virtue over reputation, they set an example of moral leadership that inspires trust and respect, even if not immediately recognized. In personal relationships, staying true to virtue might involve addressing difficult truths with loved ones, rather than glossing over issues to keep the peace. While this might attract temporary criticism or conflict, the long-term benefits of honesty and trustworthiness far outweigh short-term approval. Reflect for a moment on your own life. How often do you find your actions swayed by the desire to maintain reputation rather than adhere to your core values? How might your life change if virtue became your guiding principle, shaping your responses to criticism and insults? By pondering these questions, you begin to realign your focus from external validation to internal integrity. The Stoics encourage us to cultivate a life steeped in virtue, teaching that the true battle is won not in the court of public opinion, but in the quiet conviction of one's conscience. Marcus Aurelius's reflections remind us that living virtuously in the face of insults is not just a practice for philosophers or emperors. but a path open to anyone seeking true peace and strength. Therefore, when confronted with criticism or insults, let virtue be your guide. Stand firm in your values, knowing that while reputation may fluctuate, your commitment to living with integrity is unshakable. This is the essence of true Stoic resilience, a timeless reminder that virtue is the foundation upon which a meaningful and unperturbed life is built. Imagine you're standing in line at a busy coffee shop. The morning rush is at its peak and the queue seems endless. You're running late for an important meeting, and as the minutes tick by, impatience starts to bubble up. In this moment, you face a test of patience. It's a scenario many of us encounter daily, where the natural inclination is to succumb to frustration and stress. However, what if you reframed this view, seeing it as an opportunity to practice patience, a tool for maintaining your composure not just here, but in all aspects of life? Patience is a pivotal Stoic virtue, one that embodies resilience and fortitude in the face of adversity. For the Stoics, patience goes beyond mere waiting. It involves enduring hardships with grace and maintaining inner peace regardless of external pressures. Seneca, the esteemed Stoic philosopher, emphasized the power of patience by noting, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." This quote beautifully captures the essence of patience as a transformative power, a means to develop strength through life's inevitable struggles. Let's delve into how patience can diffuse tensions and alter outcomes. Picture a heated workplace conflict. Two colleagues are at loggerheads, each adamant in their stance. A third colleague, watching this unfold, decides to intervene. Instead of diving into the fray with hasty judgments, they exercise patience. By waiting, listening, and allowing each party to air their grievances, they gradually facilitate a constructive dialogue. Their patient approach transforms what could have escalated into a larger conflict into an opportunity for mutual understanding and compromise. Similarly, consider a personal relationship scenario where a misunderstanding escalates into a full-blown argument. In the heat of the moment, words are exchanged thoughtlessly, often causing more harm than good. However, adopting a patient stance, choosing to pause, breathe, and reflect before responding can change the dynamic entirely. Patience affords us the space to consider our words and their impact, allowing cooler heads to prevail. The minor miracle of patience here is not the suppression of emotions, but their thoughtful management, which paves the way for dialogue and reconciliation. Reflect on your own experiences. Think about times when a lack of patience led to impulsive reactions or decisions you later regretted. Perhaps it was a snap decision in traffic, a hasty email response, or an impulsive comment during a disagreement. Now contrast those memories with instances where patience prevailed. How did the outcomes differ? How did exercising patience change your perspective or mood? By cultivating patience, we don't just wait but engage actively with life's challenges, enhancing our ability to handle adversity gracefully. It allows us to build deeper connections as we learn to listen and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. The next time you're in a situation testing your patience, be it an inconvenient delay, a difficult conversation, or an unexpected challenge, remember Seneca's wisdom. Consider how patience can not only diffuse immediate tensions, but also contribute to your long-term resilience and personal growth. As you integrate the practice of patience into your daily life, you align with a core tenet of Stoicism, embracing patience not as mere endurance but as a powerful tool for calm and composed living. By doing so, you enhance your ability to navigate the world with tranquility and intention, transforming potential disruptions into opportunities for personal mastery and peace. Have you ever been on the receiving end of a classic insult, like someone saying, "You couldn't organize a one-car parade"? While the initial sting might trigger a defensive response, imagine instead responding with a chuckle and a clever retort like, "Well, I'd rather manage a one-car parade than be stuck in a traffic jam." Humor, you see, holds the remarkable power to transform the sharp edges of criticism into opportunities for laughter and connection. Humor aligns seamlessly with the Stoic principle of equanimity, which emphasizes maintaining mental calmness and composure regardless of external circumstances. By injecting humor into an encounter with insults, we create a buffer that shields us from negativity and reframes the situation in a lighter, more manageable context. This approach not only disarms the insult but also demonstrates a level of self-confidence and emotional resilience that is at the core of Stoic philosophy. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, known for his wisdom and wit, often employed humor to maintain perspective and reduce tension. His teachings suggest that life's absurdities are best met with a smile, implying that humor has the power to shift our perception and diminish the weight of adversity. He believed that by not taking ourselves too seriously, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and poise, effectively managing our emotional responses to provocations. Consider real-world scenarios where humor has successfully diffused conflict. Take a heated argument between friends that begins to spiral out of control. Introducing a humorous comment, perhaps an inside joke or a light-hearted observation, can break the tension and remind everyone of the shared bonds that are more significant than the disagreement at hand. Humor serves as a gentle reminder that conflicts often have a dimension of absurdity, allowing parties to pivot from confrontation to camaraderie. Similarly, in a workplace setting, a team member might critique your project in a way that feels unnecessarily harsh. By responding with humor, "Looks like my project's taking the scenic route to success," you deflate potential hostility, shifting the focus from criticism to collaboration. Humor in such contexts not only alleviates immediate tension, but also fosters a culture of openness and creativity. For viewers, the next time minor provocations arise, whether it's a cutting remark from a stranger or a teasing comment from a friend, consider humor as your first line of defense. This doesn't mean ignoring the insult, but rather choosing to respond in a way that lightens the mood and protects your peace of mind. Humor can act as a shield, deflecting negativity while simultaneously inviting a more positive interaction. Reflect on your own experiences. How often do you find humor helping you in stressful situations? Have there been moments when a simple joke diffused a potentially volatile encounter? By embracing humor, we not only sidestep the emotional pitfalls of negativity, but also build an inner resilience that reflects Stoic ideals. In adopting this approach, you align yourself with a long tradition of Stoics who valued laughter as a tool for maintaining balance in the face of adversity. Humor becomes not just a reaction, but a proactive strategy for living a life of equanimity and joy. So, next time you face a minor insult, remember to laugh it off. After all, life is too short to take every barb seriously. Integrating humor into your responses fosters a resilient mindset, empowering you to navigate life's complexities with a light heart and a steady spirit. Have you ever found yourself caught up in a conflict, only to later realize that the issue seemed much bigger in the moment than it actually was? It's a common experience, getting so wrapped up in the details that we lose sight of the bigger picture. This is where the art of maintaining perspective becomes invaluable. By stepping back and viewing situations from a broader vantage point, we can diminish the sting of insults and criticisms, aligning with the wisdom of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics championed the exercise of zooming out to gain clarity on life's challenges, and no one articulated this better than Marcus Aurelius. In his meditations, Marcus frequently reflected on the insignificance of many of the things that vex us in the grand scheme of life. He often reminded himself that we are but small parts of a vast universe, a perspective designed to put petty grievances and insults into context. Let's apply this Stoic exercise to a common scenario, a trivial criticism at work. Perhaps you've spent hours on a project only to have a colleague dismiss your efforts with a curt remark. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to let such words fester, affecting your mood and self-esteem. But what if you took a step back? By zooming out, you begin to see the comment for what it truly is. A fleeting opinion, possibly stemming from your colleague's stress or personal challenges, rather than an objective assessment of your worth. Marcus Aurelius would encourage us to recognize that these daily irritations are but minor waves in the vast ocean of our lives. By adopting a broader perspective, you can reframe the criticism as an isolated event, not a defining moment. This doesn't mean ignoring feedback, but rather understanding its limited scope and impact on your life as a whole. Consider another everyday encounter, a disagreement with a friend or loved one. In the moment, emotions can flare and words can be sharper than intended. However, by pausing and taking in the wider perspective of your relationship, you realize that this disagreement is just a small chapter in a much longer story of connection and mutual support. This perspective helps you navigate the conflict with patience and empathy, rather than letting it escalate unnecessarily. As you navigate the ebb and flow of life's challenges, try to cultivate this habit of broadening your view. During heated moments, ask yourself, how significant is this issue in the grand tapestry of my life? Will it matter in a week, a month, or a year? By shifting focus from the immediate emotional reaction to the broader context, you can maintain a sense of calm and clarity. Reflect on your own experiences. How often have you magnified a minor issue into a major stressor, only to later see that it was just a small bump in the road? How might your life change if you regularly practiced this Stoic exercise of zooming out? Integrating this perspective not only lightens the burdens of daily life, but also nurtures emotional resilience. It reminds us of the transitory nature of most issues, empowering us to respond with grace rather than react with haste. By keeping the bigger picture in view, we preserve our peace of mind and carry forward the enduring wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, finding strength in perspective and tranquility amidst turmoil. Have you ever found yourself on the edge of an emotional surge, perhaps during an intense argument or when someone hurls an unexpected insult your way? These moments where emotions threaten to take the reins can feel overwhelming, but how can you manage these emotional currents before they sweep you away? This is where the Stoic practice of emotional discipline comes into play, a commitment to regulating our emotions so that we remain the masters of our own minds rather than their subjects. The Stoics were steadfast believers in the power of emotional regulation. They understood that while emotions are natural, allowing them to dominate our actions can lead to hasty decisions and regret. Seneca, the renowned Stoic philosopher, articulated this beautifully when he said, "Most powerful is he who has himself in his own power." This insight highlights the Stoic conviction that true strength lies in controlling one's emotional responses, a discipline that can transform how we handle criticism and conflict. Consider, for instance, a family disagreement. These are often fraught with emotion, as the opinions and actions of those closest to us carry significant weight. Imagine a scenario where, during a family gathering, a relative makes a disparaging remark about your lifestyle choices. The initial rush might be to defend yourself vigorously or respond with a pointed retort. Yet, by practicing emotional discipline, you choose instead to pause, breathe, and reflect before responding. This pause not only prevents the situation from escalating, but also allows you to respond with thoughtfulness and perhaps even compassion, rather than react in anger. This principle of controlling emotions can also be applied in professional settings. Picture receiving critical feedback from your boss, delivered in a manner that feels harsh or unjust. The instinctive reaction might be defensiveness or frustration. However, by engaging emotional discipline, you assess the feedback objectively and determine its validity without letting pride cloud your judgment. This approach can turn a potentially negative encounter into a valuable learning opportunity. The challenge, then, is to reconsider your emotional reactions, viewing them not as uncontrollable impulses but as aspects of yourself that you can influence and guide. When you encounter criticism or insults, ask yourself, what is my immediate emotional response telling me? Is it rooted in fear, pride, or misunderstanding? How might I choose a response that aligns with my values and long-term goals? It's important to note that cultivating emotional discipline doesn't mean suppressing feelings or ignoring them. Instead, it involves acknowledging emotions, understanding their origins, and channeling them in ways that promote personal growth and harmony. This practice empowers you to remain centered, no matter what external challenges arise. Reflect on your own experiences. How often have your emotions dictated your actions, leading to outcomes you wish had been different? By committing to the Stoic practice of emotional discipline, you gain the ability to transform these moments into opportunities for growth and self-improvement. In the end, the Stoics invite us to wield emotional discipline not as a constraint but as a form of liberation, a way to live authentically and resiliently, unfazed by the inevitable storms of life. As you integrate this practice into your daily life, you not only fortify yourself against insults but also cultivate a deeper sense of inner peace and strength. This mastery over one's emotional world is not only a testament to personal power but also a step towards a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. The serenity of inner peace is like a tranquil lake, undisturbed by the winds of life's chaos. It is a state of calm and balance where the mind finds refuge from the turmoil of external negativity. This inner tranquility acts as a formidable buffer, shielding us from the slings and arrows of criticism or insult. It empowers us to remain composed in the face of adversity, offering a profound sense of stability and contentment no matter what external circumstances we encounter. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, highlighted the significance of peace of mind in his teachings. He believed that the path to true happiness lies not in controlling external events, but in mastering our internal landscape. No man is free who is not master of himself, he asserted, emphasizing that real freedom, and therefore peace, comes from within. This perspective reminds us that the key to tranquility lies in cultivating our internal world, rather than attempting to mold the external environment to our liking. To nurture this inner peace, many find solace in meditative practices, which serve as powerful tools in fostering a calm and centered mind. Meditation, in its various forms, provides a sanctuary for introspection and self-awareness. One common practice is mindfulness meditation, which involves focusing on the present moment without judgment. By honing our awareness of the current experience, our breath, our thoughts, our surroundings, we learn to observe our internal states without becoming entangled in them. This practice builds resilience by teaching us that thoughts and feelings are transient, much like clouds passing in the sky, and need not disrupt our calm. Another effective technique is loving kindness meditation, which involves directing positive intentions towards ourselves and others. This practice not only enhances our emotional resilience but also fosters a compassionate outlook, reducing the burden of negativity from within and promoting a deep sense of connection with those around us. One might consider the calming ritual of daily journaling as a form of meditation. By setting aside time each day to write down thoughts and feelings, we gain clarity and insight into our inner world, which helps in identifying patterns and triggers of negativity. This simple act can be a profound step towards achieving and maintaining inner peace. As you reflect on these practices, consider how often you prioritize peace in your daily life. How frequently do you take time to simply be, to reflect on the state of your mind, and to nurture a sense of calm? Making peace a personal goal is not about withdrawing from the world, but about engaging with it more fully from a place of strength and balance. Imagine approaching each day with a heart and mind centered in tranquility, where external disturbances are met with equanimity and understanding. This is the gift of inner peace, not an absence of challenges, but an unwavering stability amidst them. By cultivating this state, we become like the calm in the eye of a storm, unaffected by the winds that howl around us. I invite you to make this cultivation of inner peace a priority, exploring meditative practices that resonate with you. As you integrate these into your routine, ask yourself, how does this practice transform my response to negativity and enhance my overall well-being? How might my life change when peace becomes the foundation upon which I stand? In striving for inner peace, we align ourselves with the wisdom of the Stoics, embracing the path of resilience and freedom in a world full of uncertainties. By making peace a personal goal, we unlock the door to a life rich with clarity, purpose, and unwavering strength. Consider for a moment, how often do we let a few careless words linger in our minds, affecting our mood, confidence, and happiness for much longer than they deserve? This is a universal human experience and a challenge that Stoic philosophers tackled head-on. By understanding the transience of insults, we liberate ourselves from their grip, transforming these temporary stings into lessons in resilience. Stoic teachings emphasize the impermanence of external judgments. Just as the tides ebb and flow, so do the opinions of others. They are fluid, ever-changing, and ultimately beyond our control. Epictetus famously proclaimed, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This perspective encourages us to focus not on the fleeting criticisms of others, but on cultivating our inner strength. Seneca, another profound Stoic thinker, offers invaluable insights on this topic. He wrote extensively about the nature of pain and suffering, emphasizing its temporary character. Seneca believed that while we might feel the initial sting of an insult, this pain does not have to linger. He argued that our minds, when properly trained, could remain unclouded by transient external judgments. Seneca's wisdom invites us to ask ourselves whether we want to allow insults to take up long-term residence in minds and lives meant for richer, more fulfilling pursuits. To illustrate the transience of insults, let's explore the story of a renowned artist who faced intense criticism early in their career. Initial reviews dismissed their work as unoriginal and uninspired, words that could have easily discouraged and derailed their path. However, rather than dwelling on these judgments, the artist embraced them as fleeting snapshots of opinion, not definitive measures of their worth or potential. This resilience paid off as their work later gained critical acclaim and enduring appreciation. The initial insults, like many harsh words, faded into obscurity, overshadowed by the artist's persistence and eventual success. Stories like this remind us that insults, when dissected, often reflect more about the giver than the receiver. They are shaped by the giver's emotions, perceptions, and in-the-moment reactions. Recognizing this can be profoundly liberating, encouraging us to release the weight of judgment we unjustly carry. Now, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. Recall a time when someone's harsh words affected you deeply. How important do those words seem now with the passage of time? Have they influenced your life in a meaningful way, or have they simply drifted into the background noise of your past? The Stoics urge us to contemplate the impermanence of emotional wounds. Just as the body heals from physical injuries, our minds can heal from insults if we allow them to. This understanding encourages a shift in perspective, viewing insults not as lasting scars but as wisps of smoke visible for a moment, then gone. As you navigate your life's journey, carry with you the wisdom of recognizing the transience of insults. Each time you face criticism, ask yourself, how will this matter in the grand tapestry of my life? By embracing this perspective, you build a fortress of mental resilience, impervious to the fleeting jabs of the world. Through this, you not only honor the teachings of the Stoics, but also empower yourself to live with greater peace and purpose. Imagine this: you're sitting across from a friend who, in a moment of thoughtlessness, made a hurtful comment about something personal to you. The sting of those words lingers, and it's tempting to hold onto the hurt, but instead you decide to forgive. You notice an immediate lightness, a release of the tension that had been building since the comment was made. This simple act of forgiveness, though challenging, offers a profound sense of freedom and peace. Forgiveness, according to Stoicism, is not merely a gracious gesture we extend to others. It is a vital practice for our own mental well-being. It's an act of liberation, a release not just for those who have wronged us, but more importantly for ourselves. Musonius Rufus, a lesser-known but profoundly influential Stoic philosopher, emphasized the importance of forgiving transgressions. He argued that harboring grievances only burdens the heart and clouds our judgment. By forgiving, we free our minds from the shackles of resentment, allowing us to focus our energy on what truly matters, living a life aligned with virtue. Forgiveness as a Stoic virtue is about recognizing the human propensity for error and choosing to rise above it. It's about understanding that we all have moments of weakness and extending grace not because the other person necessarily deserves it, but because we deserve peace. This perspective shifts the focus from the offender's actions to our response, placing control firmly back in our hands. Consider the everyday annoyances that often burden us: the colleague who interrupts in meetings, the friend who cancels plans last minute, or the family member who forgets an important occasion. While these minor offenses might not seem significant on their own, collectively they can weigh us down if we allow resentment to accumulate. Practicing forgiveness in these instances may appear as letting go of a sigh or releasing a clenched jaw, but it represents a far deeper choice to prioritize peace over petty grievances. For example, let's say someone cuts you off in traffic, an all-too-common frustration. The instinctive reaction might be anger or even retaliation. However, by choosing forgiveness, you recognize that the person's behavior likely has more to do with their own circumstances. Perhaps they are late for an important appointment or simply made a mistake. This release transforms a potential day ruiner into a momentary blip, allowing you to maintain your composure and continue your day with serenity. As viewers reflect on their own interactions, consider how withholding forgiveness might be slowing you down. Is there a past slight that's still eating away at your peace of mind? How might your life change if you chose to forgive, not because the other party deserves it, but because you deserve freedom from the negative emotions tied to that memory? The Stoics championed forgiveness as a means of self-liberation. By practicing forgiveness, we emulate the wise teachings of Musonius Rufus, learning to prioritize our tranquility over transient injustices. In doing so, we unburden ourselves from the weight of grudges and judgments, opening the door to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Let us embrace this Stoic wisdom and actively integrate the practice of forgiveness into our daily lives. As we navigate the inevitable challenges and insults, let forgiveness be our compass, guiding us to the calm shores of inner peace and resilience. In the end, forgiveness is not just a virtue but a powerful tool for living a life unshackled by the past and fully present in the pursuit of wisdom and tranquility. Have you ever considered the remarkable strength found in silence? Often in our culture, the value of speaking out is emphasized, yet there lies a profound power in choosing when not to respond. This is not merely about withholding words, but understanding the immense potency of silence as a deliberate response to provocation. In the realm of Stoicism, silence is not seen as a sign of weakness or submission, but rather an embodiment of wisdom and control. The Stoics well understood that not every situation demands a verbal comeback. In fact, Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, emphasized this point succinctly. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. He highlighted that the strength of silent composure often holds more power than the loudest voice in the room. When faced with insults or provocation, silence can serve as an impenetrable shield, absorbing negativity without allowing it to penetrate our inner peace. Consider this: when someone launches a verbal attack, they often expect a reaction, a defense, a counterattack, or an explanation. They seek to disrupt your composure and draw you into conflict. By choosing silence, you deny them this satisfaction, maintaining your own equilibrium, and in many cases, disarming their attack altogether. Silence conveys that you are unaffected, that their words have not unsettled you, which can be incredibly disconcerting to the one delivering the insult. Let's delve into a few real-world examples where silence has served as a formidable response. Remember the iconic moment during a presidential debate when the candidate paused, took a moment, and then chose not to engage in mudslinging. That pause, that silence, spoke volumes, emphasizing restraint, confidence, and control over reactive impulses. It shifted the focus from the aggressive words of the opponent back to the calm demeanor of the candidate, illustrating that silence can sometimes be more eloquent than any retort. Or take the example of a public figure often under scrutiny. Instead of responding to every piece of criticism or insult hurled their way, they opt for silence, letting their actions speak louder than words. Over time, this response not only preserves their peace, but also cultivates respect and admiration for their ability to remain composed under pressure. Now let's turn inward, reflect upon your own experiences. Have there been moments when choosing silence was your strongest response, when refraining from words left a more profound impact than any argument could have achieved? Maybe it was during a heated argument with a friend or a critical review at work. How did that silence serve you? Did it diffuse tension, maintain dignity, or perhaps lead the other party to reconsider their words? The benefit of silence is not just in the immediate effect it has on a situation, but in the long-term cultivation of inner peace and strength it promotes. The next time you find yourself provoked or insulted, remember the power of silence. Consider the impact of withholding words, not as a retreat, but as a strategic decision that reflects your mastery over emotions and situations. Silence, as the Stoics teach us, is far from empty. It is filled with the strength of restraint and wisdom, often saying more than words ever could. In practicing the art of silence, we embody a core principle of Stoicism. That true strength lies not in our words, but in our ability to choose when to use them. As you move forward, let this understanding guide you, turning moments of discord into opportunities for demonstrating the profound power of quiet composure. How often have you replayed an insult in your mind, only to find yourself spiraling into self-criticism? It's a scenario that many of us know all too well. After hearing a harsh word or critique, we might start questioning our worth or abilities, allowing self-doubt to creep in. But what if, instead of being our own harshest critic, we became our own compassionate supporter? This is where the practice of self-compassion becomes invaluable. Self-compassion, a concept richly aligned with Stoic philosophy, emphasizes being gentle with ourselves in moments of perceived failure or inadequacy. Marcus Aurelius, in his introspective work, Meditations, delves into the importance of treating oneself with kindness. He often reflected on the idea that while we cannot always control external events, we can control how we treat ourselves in response to them. He urged us to recognize the common humanity we all share, understanding that mistakes and imperfections are part of the human experience. When faced with self-doubt, the Stoics encourage us to reframe our self-critical thoughts. Instead of fixating on perceived failures, we can choose to see these moments as opportunities for growth and learning. Take, for instance, a situation where you received negative feedback at work. It's easy to let self-critical thoughts take over, thinking perhaps that you're not good enough or that you've failed. However, by practicing self-compassion, you might reframe these thoughts by focusing on your strengths and past accomplishments. Ask yourself, what did I learn from this experience? How can I use this feedback constructively? Consider a personal example of self-compassion in action. Imagine you've recently had an argument with a friend where you said something you regret. The self-critical mind might dwell on the mistake, labeling you as a bad friend or thoughtless. Through the lens of self-compassion, however, you could acknowledge the mistake, apologize sincerely, and recognize that everyone has moments of imperfection. This approach not only helps you maintain your inner peace, but also strengthens your relationships by fostering understanding and patience. Reframing self-critical thoughts also involves acknowledging and embracing your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Celebrate your efforts and progress, reminding yourself that growth is often a gradual process. By doing so, you cultivate a mindset that's nurturing rather than punitive, allowing self-compassion to flourish even in the face of adversity. Now, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences with self-criticism. How often have you been harsh on yourself after a perceived failure or insult? What might change if you approach these situations with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend? The practice of self-compassion is in essence an act of self-care. It requires patience and mindfulness, yet its benefits are profound. By treating ourselves with kindness, we build a resilient foundation for dealing with life's challenges, making us less vulnerable to the sting of self-doubt and criticism. As you continue on your journey, remember the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic encouragement to be gentle with oneself. Self-compassion is not about ignoring flaws, but about embracing them as part of the rich tapestry of human life. By practicing self-kindness, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also become better equipped to face the world with confidence and grace. Picture this: you're navigating a particularly tough week at work. Deadlines loom large and you feel the weight of unrelenting pressure. Amidst this chaos, a simple message pops up on your phone. It's from a friend offering words of encouragement, reminding you that you're not alone. In that moment, the power of community becomes brilliantly clear, a reassuring anchor in the stormy seas of life. This supportive network acts as a buffer against negativity, grounding us and fostering resilience in the face of adversity. Community plays a pivotal role in Stoic resilience, serving not merely as an external support system, but as a vital component of our inner strength. While Stoicism champions self-control and independence, it also recognizes the indispensable value of companionship and support. Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers, reflected deeply on the importance of community. He believed that while we should strive for personal fortitude, the love and support of others enrich our lives and enhance our ability to endure hardships. Seneca asserted that true friendship is about mutual support, a shared journey where individuals uplift each other through life's trials and tribulations. Consider a scenario where a tight-knit community rallies around a member who has suffered a personal loss. Their collective support through words of consolation, shared meals, and simply being there offers immense strength and comfort. This solidarity not only alleviates immediate sorrow, but also fortifies the individual's resilience, reminding them that they are part of a greater whole. The emotional sustenance provided by such a community acts as a shield against the harshness of individual suffering. In another example, think of a local group that comes together in times of crisis, such as after a natural disaster. The bonds within this community serve as a lifeline, offering resources, shelter, and emotional support. Each helping hand, every shared story of survival, demonstrates the profound strength found in unity. This communal network transforms potential despair into collective hope and resilience. For viewers, it's valuable to reflect on the communities they're part of, whether it's family, friends, colleagues, or social groups. How often do you lean on these networks in times of need? Conversely, how frequently do you offer your support to uplift others? Recognizing and nurturing these connections is crucial, as they form the bedrock of our emotional well-being, providing a reservoir of strength we can draw from when facing life's challenges. Seneca's thoughts remind us that companionship isn't just about proximity or frequent interactions. It's about the authentic bonds we forge, characterized by empathy, trust, and mutual support. By fostering these relationships, we cultivate not only resilience but also an enriched life filled with shared joy and reduced burdens. In our pursuit of Stoic resilience, let us not overlook the power of community. I encourage you to actively invest in your relationships, build networks of support, and cherish the companions who walk alongside you. Whether it's through shared laughter, a listening ear, or a comforting presence during difficult times, these connections can significantly bolster your ability to handle adversity with grace and fortitude. As you reflect on this, consider how you can strengthen your ties and contribute to your communities. The strength drawn from supportive connections not only enhances resilience but also enriches the journey of life, proving that while we may be capable of standing alone, we are infinitely stronger together. Have you ever paused to consider that adversity might be one of our greatest teachers? It's a provocative thought, one that challenges the way we typically view hardships. Rather than simply obstacles to overcome or endure, the Stoics saw these challenges as invaluable opportunities for learning and personal growth. In their eyes, adversity was not a curse but a cornerstone of a well-lived life, something that molded character and sharpened wisdom. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who lived as a slave before becoming a renowned teacher, profoundly understood the instructive power of hardship. He once said, "Difficulties are things that show a person what they are." This concise quote encapsulates the essence of Stoic thought on adversity. While challenging times test our limits, they also reveal our strengths and weaknesses, offering crucial insights into our true selves. By embracing adversity, the Stoics believed we could cultivate resilience, patience, and wisdom, qualities often hidden beneath the surface in times of ease. Let's explore how this perspective translates to real life. Consider the story of a young entrepreneur who faces the failure of their first business venture. It's easy to view this situation purely as a setback. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, this individual might examine the experience with an eye for learning. What did the failure teach about market demands, customer needs, or personal resilience? This introspection can lead to invaluable insights that inform future endeavors, ultimately turning failure into a springboard for success. Such a perspective transforms the narrative from one of defeat to one of growth and innovation. Another powerful example is the athlete who encounters a significant injury, sidelining them from their sport. Initially, it might seem like a devastating blow, derailing years of hard work and dreams. Yet, by seeking meaning in adversity, this athlete could discover new dimensions of their identity and purpose. Perhaps the injury paves the way for them to mentor younger athletes, fostering a new sense of fulfillment and contribution that transcends personal achievement. This reflection not only aids in recovery but also enriches their sense of purpose. For viewers, the challenge lies in reimagining insults and criticism as opportunities rather than attacks. When someone hurls harsh words your way, pause and ask, "What does this reveal about my own insecurities or areas where I might grow stronger?" Viewing insults as catalysts for deeper self-awareness alters their impact, turning potential anxiety into a pathway for self-improvement. This mindset shift encourages constructive reflection rather than defensive reactions. Embracing adversity as a teacher also involves acknowledging our emotional responses without letting them dictate our actions. It means observing our feelings, understanding their origins, and deciding how to best channel them into positive change. This practice not only builds emotional resilience but also opens avenues for continuous personal development. As you navigate your own adversities, consider how you might uncover hidden meanings within these challenges. Reflect on past experiences that, while difficult, shaped your character or paved the way for new opportunities. How did these adversities contribute to your growth, and how can you apply these lessons to future challenges? By finding meaning in adversity, we align ourselves with the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, who understood life as a series of lessons to be embraced. This perspective not only equips us to handle insults and hardships with grace, but also enriches our journey, fostering a life of profound purpose and resilience. As you move forward, let this insight guide you, turning every challenge into a stepping stone towards greater wisdom and personal fulfillment. As we draw this journey to a close, let's reflect on the profound wisdom the Stoics offer us in becoming immune to insult. At the core of this philosophy lies the notion of perception. The Stoics teach us that our interpretation of external events, such as insults, determines their impact on us. By mastering our perception, we gain the ability to reframe insults, viewing them not as personal attacks, but as opportunities for growth and self-reflection. This shift in perspective empowers us to maintain our inner equilibrium, unaffected by the turbulence of others' opinions. Equally vital is the Stoic principle of control. The Stoics remind us to focus on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and responses, while letting go of what lies beyond it, such as the opinions of others. This distinction is liberating, freeing us from the anxiety of attempting to control the uncontrollable. By honing our focus on our internal world, we cultivate resilience and a sense of peace that is impervious to external insults. Central to the Stoic path is the cultivation of virtue, seen as the highest good. Living a virtuous life grounded in wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance provides a sturdy anchor amidst life's challenges. By aligning our actions with these virtues, we create an unwavering foundation that no insult can shake. In doing so, we find a deeper sense of personal freedom, unburdened by the need for external validation. Embracing these principles leads us to a life characterized by personal freedom and peace. It's a journey toward sovereignty over our own minds, where we choose how to react in any given situation. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, beautifully encapsulates this wisdom with the quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This simple yet profound insight serves as a guiding light, reminding us that the key to resilience and inner strength lies within. I encourage you to consider how these Stoic practices, focusing on perception, exercising control, and living virtuously, can be woven into the fabric of your own life. Whether through daily reflection on your responses, practicing mindfulness to enhance perception, or engaging in community to strengthen virtue, these practices offer a path to greater peace and resilience. As you ponder these ideas, think about ways you can incorporate Stoicism into your daily routine. Perhaps it's through journaling your thoughts and reflections, meditating on Stoic teachings, or simply pausing to reframe challenges as opportunities. Whatever form it takes, I invite you to explore these practices, nurturing a mindset that values inner strength and wisdom over fleeting external validation. Finally, I invite you to engage with this content. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. How have these Stoic strategies impacted your life? Have you noticed a shift in how you handle criticism or insults? Your insights could inspire others on this path of growth and resilience. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of Stoic wisdom. May these teachings guide you toward a life of tranquility and freedom, unshaken by the winds of the external world.